Now, folks, the US midterms took place this week, and 4 days after polls closed, who's going to get control of Congress remains unclear. Control of the Senate now hinges on the outcome of Nevada and Georgia, and my next guest will tell me if I've got that wrong. Meanwhile, the Republicans are inching closer to a majority in the House of Representatives. However, the results have been much, much closer than expected, resulting in Republicans to lament what they see as the biggest missed opportunity of the century, which has raised doubts about my next guest's favourite man, Donald Trump's ability to win the presidential election in 2024. Well, to break down this story, I'm joined by a former Trump advisor, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, thank you very much for your time. I wonder if you can just set out for my viewers, many of whom like Donald Trump, right? Well, I get people writing in saying, look, he's a man. He says it as it is. I like him a lot. They're worried now that actually he's had his chance. He's a busted flush.
Yeah, well, there is zero empirical evidence that what we saw, this disaster on Tuesday in the last 4 days, was anything to do with my former boss. The majority of the candidates that he supported, he campaigned for, and he even helped to fund, actually won their elections very much in the Trumpian mold. You've got people like J.D. Vance, the author, the former Marine, never involved in politics, and just romped home with a massive victory, first time ever as a Senate candidate out of Ohio. So, the problem is the election system and what the Democrats did to it under COVID. Think of this. In the state of Pennsylvania, where an individual called Fetterman, who had a stroke and can't speak properly, who has to have closed captioning at political events because he can't process audio inputs to his brain, was elected the senator. Why? Because of 50 days of voting. We used to have election day in America. Pennsylvania has 50 days of voting, and more than half of the electorate voted before he even debated the person who is running against him. So we have a broken election system, and we've got to fix it.
So, Sebastian, though, a lot of my viewers are watching things kick off in America. They're watching a US president who, frankly, struggles sometimes to string a sentence together. And they're saying, hang on a minute, in a country of over 300 million people, this is really the best that the United States can offer. And actually, President Trump hasn't covered himself in glory since that election in 2020. I'm wondering, where do you think the Republican Party goes from here? Do you think Ron DeSantis, who actually has had a good election by the looks of things, do you think he's going to be the Republican nominee?
I think the swamp, I think the fake conservatives, what we call the rhinos, the Republicans in name only, are whispering sweet nothings into Ron's ear right now because they hate Trump. Remember, Trump isn't owned by anybody. He's not owned by the gas companies, the oil companies, the unions. He is his own man. Ron DeSantis is seen as a tool. I did a big interview that's going viral on my Twitter page right now, my Instagram page, on how Ronald DeSantis is being used by the establishment as a stalking horse to divide the right. The fact is, President Trump received more votes than any incumbent president in U.S. history. That's just a fact. He is still the kingmaker. If you look at the results across the country, the majority of his nominees won their seats. He has changed conservative politics, just like Brexit changed politics in the UK. And the left, allied with the fake conservatives, wants to take down the king. But it's going to fail. This is a guy who can fill a stadium anywhere in America, including in Democrat states, with 50, 60,000 people 2 days after he announces an event. That's the power of Donald Trump, and that hasn't waned in the last 2 years.
So yes or no then, Sebastian, is Donald Trump, is it going to be Trump and Biden in 2024?
It will be President Trump. He's going to announce on Tuesday. Will it be Biden? Look, this is a guy who says he's in Colombia when he's in Asia. The guy is addled. He's a husk. He's senile. Can he pull it out for another 2 years? The Lord only knows.
Well, we shall see. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, former advisor to President Trump, thank you very much for your time.